73% of executives admit they've made the same strategic mistake twice. I've been in technology leadership for 24 years. I haven't made the same mistake twice because I learned to see patterns before they became problems. This is how you do it. Most leaders operate in reactive mode. You're managing the crisis in front of you. The product launch that's slipping. The engineer who just quit. The board meeting next Thursday. You're so busy executing that you never step back to ask why the same patterns keep repeating. According to recent McKinsey research on executive effectiveness in 2025, leaders who don't practice deliberate reflection waste approximately 200 hours annually on redundant problem solving. That's 5 weeks of your year gone. Not because you're incompetent, but because you're too close to the work to see the system that's creating the work. And if you're leading in Southeast Asia or India right now, you're managing across time zones, competing in markets that move faster than Western markets. And you're doing it with teams spread across 3 countries. The pressure to just keep moving is suffocating. What I'm sharing today isn't theory. It's 24 years of pattern recognition distilled into a framework. 3 core lessons that separate leaders who plateau from leaders who compound. First, you'll understand why technical excellence is the enemy of strategic impact. Second, you'll see why your best people are leaving. And it's not the money. Third, you'll learn the one practice that makes everything else click. By the end of this video, you'll have a concrete method to audit your own blind spots before they become liabilities. This is built for people running operations in Asia Pacific, leading global teams, and carrying the weight of execution. Let's move. The first lesson. Technical excellence is not leadership. Here's the pattern I've watched repeat across hundreds of leaders. You became a leader because you were exceptionally good at your craft. You could code faster, solve harder problems, or architect better systems than your peers. Your company promoted you. Your ego said congratulations. Your growth stopped. The skill that made you valuable as an individual contributor becomes a cage when you're leading. You end up solving problems instead of building systems. You stay late reviewing code instead of developing people. You optimize for being right instead of making others better. According to a 2025 Gartner study on leadership capability gaps, 68% of technologists promoted into people management roles maintain individual contributor habits. They never actually transition. The cost? Engagement drops. Retention plummets. And you burn out faster because you're doing 2 jobs poorly instead of 1 job excellently. The real example. I worked with a VP of engineering at a fintech company in Singapore. Brilliant architect. Could spot design flaws in real time. The problem? His team stopped bringing him problems because they knew he'd hijacked the solution. They learned to make decisions without him. He felt irrelevant. So he pushed harder. He reviewed more pull requests. He attended more stand-ups. His team's autonomy evaporated. Turnover spiked. He was technically excellent and strategically useless. Here's the application. This week, audit your calendar. Count the hours you spent solving problems versus building capacity in other people. If more than 40% of your time is hands-on execution, you're still operating as an individual contributor with authority. Start saying no to the technical work. Not because you can't do it well. Because your job now is making other people's work excellent. The discomfort you feel, that's the actual growth happening. The second lesson. Your best people leave because of you, not despite you. There's a narrative leaders tell themselves. We lost a great engineer to another company. They offered more money. The market's just competitive right now. Here's what's actually true. according to research from the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report in 2025. 62% of high performers cite lack of career clarity as the primary reason for departure. Not compensation. Career clarity. They don't know if staying with you is an investment in their future or just a job. And if you're leading across India, Southeast Asia, or Australia, this is more acute. The top talent in these markets is young, ambitious, and they're getting offers from everywhere. Silicon Valley, London, Hong Kong, direct from startups. They're not staying for the paycheck. They're staying if you can show them a path to something bigger than their current role. Let me give you the real-world scenario. A director at a software company in Bangalore built an exceptional team. Strong performers. But he never articulated what came next. One person could be a principal engineer. Another could move into product management. A third could lead a team in the US office. But the director never had those conversations. He thought keeping people is about challenging work and good vibes. Within 18 months, 4 of his 7 strongest contributors left for roles at other companies where they could see a path. The director was shocked. The team wasn't. Here's what you do. Schedule 90-minute career conversations with every person on your team who matters. Not a performance review. A career conversation. Ask what they want to do in 5 years. Listen more than you talk. Then, tell them specifically how that path runs through your team, through your company. Some won't want it. That's okay. At least you know. The ones who stay, they stay because you invested in seeing them. The third lesson. Discipline beats talent when talent is lazy. This is harder to teach because it requires something most leaders don't have: honest feedback about themselves. After 24 years, I've seen dozens of talented leaders underperform because they never built systems around their own work. They relied on intelligence to carry them. And intelligence eventually hits a ceiling. According to a 2026 Harvard Business Review study on executive productivity patterns, leaders who implement systematic weekly reviews compound their effectiveness at roughly 4 times the rate of leaders who operate ad hoc. 4 times. This isn't about working harder. This is about working with intention. Real example. A CTO in Jakarta became increasingly scattered as the company scaled. She was strategic in meetings but reactive in execution. Nothing was broken. But nothing moved quickly either. Her team sensed it. Morale didn't collapse. But momentum stalled. I asked her one question. What does a typical week look like? She couldn't describe it. There was no pattern. She was reacting to whoever talked to her last the moment she built a simple system. Monday morning priorities. Wednesday check-in on progress. Friday review of what didn't happen and why. Everything shifted. Her team became more proactive. Her thinking became clearer. Her stress dropped. Not because she worked more. Because she worked with structure. The application is immediate. Design your week, not your day. Your week. Monday. Identify your 3 strategic priorities. Tuesday through Thursday. Protect time for deep work on those 3. Friday morning. Before any meeting, write down what you accomplished and what you didn't. And why. That's it. 30 minutes a week. Within 60 days. You'll notice you're actually moving your agenda instead of just reacting to other people's agendas. Here's what happens when you stack these 3 lessons together. You stop being the best problem solver on your team and become the architect of how problems get solved. Your people don't feel micromanaged because you're not trying to prove you still have the skills. You're focused on them. Retention improves. Not because you threw more money at it, Because your people can articulate why staying with you is better than leaving. And the mental load lifts. You're not carrying everything anymore. You're not trying to be technical, strategic, and available simultaneously. You move from surviving quarters to building decades. That's the shift that happened for me somewhere between year 8 and year 12. I stopped trying to be the smartest person in the room and started trying to be the clearest person about what matters. The ones who make it past year 15 in this industry are the ones who learn to do that. For leaders in Singapore managing global teams, or in Bangalore building at venture scale, or across Southeast Asia navigating markets that move at startup speed. This matters immediately. Your competition is global. Your talent is global. But your edge is how you lead. Build systems, develop people. Get out of your own way. That's what 24 years teaches you. If you're in a leadership role and you recognize yourself in any of these patterns, the next step is brutal honesty. Audit this month. How much of your time is still hands-on execution? Where are the exit conversations coming from on your team? Are you actually prioritizing your week or just responding to it? Write it down. Don't share it yet. Next week, we're breaking down. Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please subscribe to Apex Minds D4J for more powerful insights. See you in the next one.